Hi there and welcome to Wander and Frame. In today's episode I'm bringing you to Western Norway, where I'm gonna have my workation. Workation is a mix of work and vacation, and this episode will be focused on the vacation part, and I'm gonna show you the work part in the next one. The main destination is called Loen, and in order to get there I had to fly to Oslo first and then rent an electric car to drive to Loen. The driving distance is about 444 kilometers and it took me approximately 6 hours to get there. Ready to camp? I have no idea where. I'll find out, I guess. A lot of people ask me if my clients are paying for my travel fee, and the answer is yes, of course, because otherwise it wouldn't be sustainable to work like that. But every time I travel to new places that are gorgeous and beautiful, I am always trying to include some days on my own where I can explore the area and do some stuff that is not accessible back at home. For example, here in Loen, I wanted to climb Via Ferrata. I'll explain later on what it is. And I also found a surfing spot not so far away from here. So in this video, I'm gonna focus on the climbing part and on the surfing part. First evening, I arrived pretty late and it started getting dark. So I made my camp under the open sky. Starry sky, where I had some photography time and time-lapse time. It was amazing. It was so beautiful to look at the stars and just meditate under them and recognize how vast is our universe. The morning was cloudy and foggy, and I find a different type of beauty in these kind of conditions.
If I don't ask your name today, I may never get the chance to walk beside your wandering days.
This whole day I spent at work, and I'll show you the whole footage of behind the scenes in the next episode. But now let's focus on the climbing. Via Ferrata trail in Loen starts in the same spot where they have Loen Skylift, and today I was really glad that I wasn't taking Skylift because it was so crowded. I have climbed this Via Ferrata a couple of years ago for the first time, and this year I wanted to try a more difficult route. The name of the route I was gonna climb this year is Thor's Hammer. Translated from Norwegian, Thor's hammer, coming from Norse mythology. Thor was the god of thunder and lightning and storms. The difficulty of this climbing route builds up gradually. You start with a grade AB, BC and CD for the biggest part of the climb, but at the end of it, it gets pretty extreme and pretty heavy, and the grade of it is DE. But let's dive into what a Via Ferrata climbing actually is. Translated from Italian, it means iron path. It is basically a climbing route built into the mountain with steel cables, iron steps and ladders. You clip yourself into the cable with safety gear meant especially for Via Ferrata climbing, and that way you can climb steep rock walls that would usually require advanced climbing skills. Via Ferrata started in the Alps, and today you can find them all over the world, including this one I'm climbing here in Loen, Western Norway. Via Ferrata is a mix between climbing and hiking and is an amazing way to experience the mountains up close. As long as you have the right gear and some basic guidance and aren't too afraid of heights, almost anyone can try it. Although I recommend doing it with a guide when you do it for the first time. Climbing a Via Ferrata is absolutely challenging, but it is also incredibly rewarding. The higher you climb, the better the view, and by the time you reach the top, you feel like you have conquered something truly epic. Reaching the top isn't just about the view, it's about the journey, the challenge, and the feeling that you are capable of more than you have thought. And sometimes it is about new connections, like these two Swedish guys that I met along the way. They have climbed this challenging part of the Via Ferrata together with me, wearing bicycle helmets and sneakers. The history of Via Ferrata goes all the way back to the First World War. During the war, soldiers in the Italian Dolomites had to move across extremely steep and dangerous mountain terrain.
Hammers, here we go.
To make this possible, they built fixed climbing routes, steel cables, bridges and wooden ladders. These were the very first Via Ferratas. After the war, many of them remained in place and later they were restored and opened for recreational climbing. Today the concept of Via Ferrata has spread worldwide, but the Dolomites in Italy are still seen as the birthplace for Via Ferrata. When we finished climbing this route, all three of us were very proud of ourselves and we decided to treat ourselves with a good meal at the restaurant on the mountain top. Jeg trenger burger.
Burger.
Oh, yeah. We came down with a sky lift and all three of us really needed a shower. And since all of us were just camping outside without access to a shower, we decided to jump in the sea.
Klar? Färdig? Gå! Come on! Klar? Färdig? Gå!
Men vi kommer springa in i...
All right, sista försök. Klar? Färdig? Gå!
Fy fan!
Come on! Oh! Come in, ladies first. Oh! No more ladies first. Oh, high five.
After the shower in the sea, well, in the fjord, we parted our ways and I headed to another location in the darkness. That's fun. Please, could you move your nice spots? Sorry, I need to drive here. I arrived at the camping place around midnight. I didn't even book a spot there. I just parked my car and texted the owners that, guys, I'm gonna sleep here. I didn't have a tent with me, I only had a hammock, but there were no places to hang it, so I ended up sleeping on the ground again. When I set up my bed, I didn't see how muddy this place is and how dirty my car was, so it wasn't the most pleasant experience to wake up in this area, but what to do? This camping place is located right on a beach in a place called Hoddevik, and this beach is called Stad Surfing. So you can guess what I was doing here.
Du är med i videon menar jag.
I didn't film any surfing this time in this place because my action camera doesn't really like being in the sea. It tends to kind of wanna drown, and it actually barely survived that Via Ferrata climb, so I decided to save it for a little while. But I really enjoyed being on this beach and surfing, and I found that this beach is pretty newbie friendly, so I definitely recommend this place to others who want to try surfing. Unfortunately, I only had a few hours to spend here before I had to head back to Oslo in order to catch up an early flight the day after, and the drive to Oslo would take me 8.5 hours or something like that. On my way back to Oslo, my car almost ran out of electricity, so I had some fun time in the mountains. But everything went well, and I ended up the day in a nice room in a good hotel. Finally, I love camping, but nothing beats a good night's sleep in a good bed.
Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I see you in the next episode. Bye!